Hello everyone. Welcome to the World Tapping Circle. I'm your host Sonya Sophia. So happy to be here with you again in Circle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, if you are live with us, say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're logging in from. If you are in the future, because this is the replay and you're catching up with us, welcome here. You matter too. Very much aware of your presence. Glad you are tuning in to move on through to the other side. Today's circle is a special one. It's a little bit of a different theme than we normally do. Normally we're either basically destroying and releasing and cleansing, or we are manifesting and building, right? And in every tap we're going to do a little bit of that. But I'm starting to realize that there's this other place in between. There's sort of sustaining, right? And sustaining is the sweet place why we would cleanse and clear. What happens after we desire and create. There's this place of having and enjoying. And as much as we talk about manifesting as like bringing in, the vibe that you bring in things is the same vibe as having that thing. So in essence, this is a manifestation tap with a focus on creating the vibration of abundance. So this is actually accepting the abundance that you already have. So I've done one of these before in a similar way. I think it was around Thanksgiving as a gratitude tap. People seem to really like it. So I thought I would give you a different version of that. So why would this be important? Because basically when your nervous system starts to get used to a certain state of having and normalizes a certain state, it then attracts and allows that to continue. Whether you're used to being mistreated and things feeling awful and being stuck and scared, or you're used to things working themselves out, flowing, opening up, beautiful connection, beautiful opportunity. Whatever it is that you sort of normalize in your life becomes more and more of your experience. So what we're going to do is start noticing what's really, really working well for you in your life. And just taking a moment as we're moving towards the warmer time of the year and start noticing, like, where was I last year compared to this year? What do I have now? What do I have more of now that I didn't have then? So tune into that for a second and ask yourself, what is it that you are appreciating that you have more of? Today we're actually going to skip the core causes. We're going to go straight into this process. What is it that you have more of? Maybe you have better focus. You have more focus. Maybe you're more prosperous than you were a year ago. Maybe you have more healthy relationships with other people. Or maybe you're making more money, or maybe you are more at peace with yourself. If you've been tapping with us for a while, that should be true, right? What is it that you are already abundant in right now that is growing, that you can see yourself unfolding and developing and appreciating? So let's just do a quick check. You might want to grab something to write some of these notes down. But ask yourself, do I have better security in my life around how I'm feeling financially? Do I have a little more groundedness in feeling stable in my body? Am I more abundant there? Maybe it's not to the greatest level that you'd like it to be, but am I more abundant there? Can I accept that this is where I'm at? Okay, asking yourself, do I have more freedom in my creativity, more freedom in that creative, sensual, yummy energy that's either going out towards creation or going out towards procreation or going out towards connecting intimately with someone else. It's that same juicy flow of goodness. Do you have more of that? Are you appreciating what you have? And maybe you don't even need to compare it to where you were a year ago. Can you appreciate the level of that juicy energy that you have in your body? Tuning in again, asking yourself, do I have more control over my will? Do I have a clearer, more focused alignment in terms of my goals, in terms of my determination, in terms of following through on my guidance, my ambition, in terms of my discipline? Am I anchored and aligned? Can I appreciate to what degree I am having that? Maybe again, it's not 100%, but maybe it's more than you had in the past. Let's look at where you're at there. And it's okay, you might not have a huge yes for all of these things, but what I want to do is highlight for you what you do have that's actually working. So this is a list of positives that we're creating. Okay, and tapping. Let's tap while we talk. Tapping the chest. Asking yourself, can I appreciate the peace I've cultivated in my heart? The connections, the genuine connections that I have at this time in my life. Either connections with my own deep true self, connections with my spirit, connections with other people, connections with love, connections with family, connections with friends. Noticing the goodness that you have there. Again, it may not be everything you ever wanted, but can you appreciate what you do have? And notice how far you've come. So, continuing to ask ourselves, what about your ability to communicate, to say what you need, to say what you mean? Your ability to listen at a deeper level as you continue to clear old triggers and old patterns. Is it improving your ability to speak up for yourself? To listen to people more deeply, to hear what's really going on. And appreciating that quality in yourself that you've been developing as you've been growing and tapping and maturing yourself beyond staying triggered in loops, right? That's what this does. We are clearing loops and patterns that keep us stuck reacting to the past. We are freeing ourselves. So asking yourself, can I appreciate the clarity of mind that I have? The ability to process information, the ability to vision, the ability to kind of plan things out, to gain insights, to get downloads from the universe. Just appreciating the part of your mind that's working pretty well. It's working enough for you to be able to make the choice to use this moment to tap through things, right? That's a pretty strong choice that you're making, to continue to show up for yourself and use a process to keep clearing old fears and traumas out of your mind. Are you noticing the peace and clarity that you're developing with this practice? And just being grateful for that for a moment. Like, the longer you tap, the more calm, the more emotionally resilient, the less triggery, the more joyful you become. Okay? So just tuning into that. The level of peace, the level of fun, the level of play, the level of feeling connected to something greater than yourself, connected to the world, belonging? Can you feel the level that you've attained there in terms of, generally feeling pretty stable, or feeling more and more calm and less scared, or like hiding or lashing out or ducking away? Maybe more like, I can feel soft, I can feel strong, I can feel clear, I can feel connected to this universe and to this world, to my body. So I just want to highlight those things for you. And I'd like you to make a list, if you haven't already, of 10 things that you want to feel even more gratitude, more acceptance for. Maybe you have a part of you that judges yourself for not being 100% in this space the way you'd like to. But let's start with putting that on your list of, I'm accepting that I'm here. I'm on step 2 of 20 in this area. But I at least am on step 2. Maybe on step, 20, and I'm feeling super abundant in this one area, and I'm very grateful. So just write down the things that you can find some gratitude, or you'd like to build more acceptance for, so we can start to resonate and expand those places inside you. I'll give you just a moment to jot those down. And meanwhile, I'm going to give a shout out to Magnus here on tech and say, hey, my chat disappeared. Can you fix that for me? Okay. Just finishing writing those things down that we're going to build out more appreciation and acceptance for. We're just going to expand our ability to be happy, to feel satisfied. This little game called How Good Can You Stand It, right? And the reason we're doing this is because often in our quest to improve ourselves or to free ourselves from trauma, we rush past the yumminess that we are attaining, right? But to be able to savor and enjoy means that we actually get to live and experience that joy and happiness while it's happening, not just in retrospect, but to actually enjoy it now while you're here, to enjoy it, to taste that food while it's in your mouth, to have that appreciation while that person is in front of you, to feel that pleasure in your body. And that tends to expand our ability to perceive where else we're having successes and wins, and also attracts more of that same to us to expand these regions. Hopefully that makes sense to you. All right. I'm saying hi to everyone. Hi, Mark. Hi, Diana. Hi, Martha and Amity. Hey, Peter. Welcome back. Hey, Shoto. I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Joyce. Hi, Diana. Hi, Utah. Hi, Nikita. All right, you guys. Let's go into the portal of change and grow ourselves a higher level of acceptance and appreciation for that which is already good and moving in our lives. Off we go. Finding the collarbones. Big deep breath. Dropping down to the front of the chest. Tuning in to what is working. Check out your list. Maybe it's working a lot. Maybe it's working a little bit. Maybe it's working medium. But picking the first thing on your list looking at that thing on your list, tuning into what is it that you are abundant in, and say out loud, remembering you can change the words as needed, I allow myself to appreciate the abundance of, and then say what it is in my life. Let's say it again. I allow myself to notice and appreciate the abundance of, and then say what it is. Tapping the eyebrows. Even though I've been trained to look for the problems, tap the temples, to always be in a state of trying to fix or prevent problems, tapping the cheeks, I'm allowing myself to acknowledge the abundance of, and then say that first thing, like friendship I have in my life. Tapping into the nose. This part of my life is feeling pretty good. Tapping into the lips. And just notice if there's any part of you that feels embarrassed or ashamed, or maybe it just feels kind of foreign, to say it's feeling pretty good. Like, oh, it's wrong, I'm bragging, or I don't want to admit that it feels good for some reason. Tap the chest. Tune in and see if there are any limiting beliefs. Like, oh, I'll jinx it if I say that it's working well or feel that it's great. Tap the front of the ribs. Even if part of me wants to hold back my acceptance of all this abundance, tap the side of the ribs, because why? Ask yourself, why would I be holding back accepting all these good things? Tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the side of the thumb. This part of me that's been holding back, noticing, feeling, tap the index finger, and speaking about these good things. Big deep breath. Tapping the middle finger. Why have I been holding back my own attention and feelings of abundance? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Tune in, check and see if you were taught that if you don't rest on your laurels, don't sit in happiness and appreciation, you won't work hard enough, or you'll lose it if you acknowledge it. You've got to keep going, or it's not as good as it could be. Wait to celebrate until it's 100%. And breathe. Tapping the little finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the side of the hand. Even if there's a part of me that's been ignoring or minimizing, tapping the top of the head, these successes. Tapping the side of the head. Go ahead and say the reasons. What are the excuses for minimizing it or neglecting to mention or notice it? Take 30 seconds, blurt them all out. Part of me thinks what? Keep tapping and talking, tapping the eyebrows. And tapping the temples. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the cheeks. even though, tapping into the nose, I've been doing this to myself, tapping under the lips in an effort to keep from what? From being lazy, from having people judge me or be jealous. Tapping the chest in an effort to keep it by not saying how great it is. Tapping the front of the ribs. Maybe it's because I feel guilty for things that feel good and are working because I don't want to have other people compare themselves to where I'm at in this area. Tapping the side of the ribs. I love and respect myself. Tapping the inside of the wrist. And I give myself the possibility of acknowledging, and then say what's on your list. What do you want to acknowledge? Tapping the side of the thumb. I give myself permission to slow down, tap the index finger, and to unpack and see what it is I've been able to build, open to, and accomplish. Tap the middle finger. I'm allowing myself to appreciate the view from here. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Even if my mind immediately rushes to how much better it could be, tap the little finger. Wants to look at where it could be improved or what still needs to happen. Tap the side of the hand. I'm allowing myself to enjoy the journey and the exact place that I am and the step that I'm on. Tap the top of the head. It's okay to notice these wins, to appreciate this about myself, about this time in my life. I'm tapping the eyebrows, big deep breath. I'm tapping the temples. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the cheeks. I'm releasing the need to withhold joy, tapping into the nose, or acknowledgement, tapping under the lips. What is something on this list that you made that you would love someone else to acknowledge you for? That you would love someone in your family to say, you know what? I see this about you. I see you've created this, or I see this is where you are now. And I'm proud of you. So choose that thing that popped up. Tap the front of the ribs and let's put some love on it. There's a part of me that's waiting to be acknowledged for, and then say that thing that would make such a difference to you. If somebody really saw and understood how far you've come here. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm open to acknowledging that I have brought myself here. Tap the inside of the wrist. So take a minute. What did it take for you to come to this place? And take 30 seconds and describe it. Maybe it took a lot of tapping and crying. Maybe it took a lot of fear and pain and resistance. Maybe it took a lot of trying and failing until you succeeded. Maybe it took a lot of courage. Tap the side of the thumb. Big deep breath. Keep talking. I want you to explain why it matters that you have attained this. Tapping the index finger. I allow myself to be proud of myself. To notice how far I've come. Big deep breath, big sigh. Tapping the middle finger, I give myself permission to appreciate this goodness, the flow, the prosperity, the health, the connection that I've achieved. Even at this level, big deep breath. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm allowed to be happy about this. Tap the little finger. Even if part of me says I'm not allowed to be happy until, and then say what you think you have to wait for, until I make it big time, until I have the ultimate what? Tap the side of the hand. Should I wait? Ask yourself, should you really wait? What do you think you will achieve by waiting to be happy? Waiting to appreciate and acknowledge. Tapping the top of the head. Part of me thinks that it'll make me work harder, try harder, do better. Tap the eyebrows. Part of me thinks it's wrong somehow. Tapping the temples to celebrate this abundance of, and then say what it is. Health, love, connection, money, passion, power. Tapping into the nose. I give myself permission. Tapping into the lips to begin to open my pleasure threshold. Tapping the chest. To allow myself to feel happy. Tapping down to the front of the ribs. Allowing myself to feel content for a moment at least. What would it feel like to just let yourself feel content? Like, yeah, I did create this. I did work hard to get here. I did have to open a lot or heal a lot or create again and again to stabilize this. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I give myself permission to unpack everything on my list. Including what? Look at your list again. What else needs acknowledging? Tapping the side of the thumb. So speak it out loud with me, tapping the thumb. I allow myself to feel good about, and then say what it is. Tap the index finger. Even if it's not where I'd like it to be, I'd like myself to appreciate where I'm at. Tap the middle finger, big deep breath again. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the little finger. Giving myself the possibility, tapping the side of the hand, of enjoying the fact that, and then say what's true. Big deep breath. Tapping the top of the head. So who set the pattern for you that it's not okay to acknowledge where you're at? It's not okay to speak out loud the good things. Tap the eyebrows. Did you see your mom and dad talk about how proud they were of themselves? Did you hear them acknowledge you or each other? Tapping the cheeks. Tapping into the nose. I give myself permission, tapping under the lips, to acknowledge and then say what you crave acknowledgement for. Whatever it is that's the hardest to acknowledge, I want you to say that right now as you tap your chest. Tapping the front of the ribs. I give myself love and respect for how much time, energy, and courage this has taken. Tap the side of the ribs. I give myself respect for being here at this time, noticing what's working well. Tapping the inside of the wrist and breathing. Tapping the side of the thumb. I forgive myself for holding back on any level. Tap the index finger. So I want you to notice, is there a part of you that wants to disassociate or drift away during this conversation? Tap the middle finger. A part of you that starts to feel agitated or stressed as we're continuing to focus on the positive? Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm so used to being hard on myself. Tap the little finger. Let's say it again. I'm so used to being hard on myself. Tapping the side of the hand. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the top of the head. Sides of the head, back of the head. I love and respect myself, or I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tapping the eyebrows, even though. Tapping the temples. I'm used to judging myself. Tapping the cheeks, comparing myself. Tapping into the nose, pushing myself. Tapping into the lips. I give myself the possibility of relishing what's working. Tapping the chest, including, and then look at your list again. Say something you haven't really acknowledged or need to acknowledge more. What are you allowing yourself to accept and appreciate? Tapping the front of the ribs. I give myself permission to enjoy feeling good about this part of my life, even for just a few minutes. Tapping the side of the ribs. And breathe. Tapping the inside of the wrist. Say it out loud. I give myself permission to honor the abundance of what? Tap the side of the thumb. Say it again. I give myself permission to honor the abundance of. Tap the index finger. And just notice any part of you that wants to contract or qualify it and say, well, but it's like, actually, I give myself permission. Tap the middle finger. To enjoy right now the abundance of what? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I have some what? Tap the little finger. And it's okay for me to feel good about this right now. Tap the side of the hand. I've come a long way. I've had a lot of pain and suffering. Tap the top of the head. And I am looking at what's actually working well, or working at all. Tapping the sides of the head and the back of the head, I give myself permission to amplify. Tap the eyebrows, to amplify. Tapping the temples, to cause and create even more of these things. Tapping the cheeks, I give myself permission. Tapping under the nose to release any remaining doubt. Tapping under the lips that I have about building all of these things out further and further the way I would like to. Tap the chest, just tuning in to that part of you that wants to doubt. Tapping the front of the ribs. There's a part of me that doubts or thinks it was an accident or doesn't know how these things happened. Tap the side of the ribs. There's a part of me that doesn't want to get my hopes up. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I forgive myself for limiting myself in my own mind. Tap the side of the thumb. Trying to prevent myself from what? Getting boastful. Prevent myself from making other people uncomfortable. Prevent myself from missing these things if they were to disappear by not acknowledging them while they're here. Tap the middle finger. It's okay for me to notice what I've created in these areas, what life has blessed me with. I give myself permission to enjoy what is happening here. Look at your list again. Read it out loud. Tap the little finger. I have what? Tap the side of the hand. Big deep breath. Big sigh. There you go. I'm giving myself the possibility of expanding my ability to feel joy by acknowledging these little things. What's the smallest, littlest win on your list? Maybe it's just a slight good thing. Let's focus on the littlest one for a minute. This little bit of what that I can be cheerful about. Tapping the cheeks, I give myself the possibility of growing my appreciation for this little thing. Tapping into the nose. What is it? I want you to brag for a moment about this little thing. What's good about it? Tapping the chest. I allow myself to receive this blessing, to receive the benefit of this little thing. Tapping the front of the ribs. I give myself permission to feel happier about, and then say something from your list. Tapping the side of the ribs. Even though it feels weird to let myself feel happy about this. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm allowing myself to enjoy it, to let it be a special moment. Tap the side of the thumb. To see these good things. Tap the index finger. I have what? Say what's on your list. And maybe you want to add some things. Like, I have a comfortable space to live. I have enough food to eat in the refrigerator. I have more time than some people have, or than I used to have. Higher quality of friendships. Deeper peace in my heart. Tap the side of the hand. I allow myself to appreciate and enjoy these beautiful things and the place I am in this process. Okay, now what is something on your list that you have a really hard time accepting and feeling the abundance of? Tapping the eyebrows. I give myself permission to accept, tap the temples, that it's still a struggle for me to appreciate what? Tapping the cheeks. Say it out loud, tapping into the nose. I accept that it's still a struggle, tapping under the lips, to appreciate what? Tapping the chest. I love and respect myself, tapping the front of the ribs. And it's okay if it's hard for me to celebrate or acknowledge or even see what is happening here. I'm so conditioned to keep on moving. Tap the inside of the wrist. So conditioned to keep my eye on the next goal. Tapping the side of the thumb. Big deep breath. I give myself permission to create a ritual of acknowledgement. Tapping the index finger. To enjoy life while I'm here. Tap the middle finger. To enjoy the successes of what is flowing, what is smooth or smoother. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger, including what? What do you think would uplift your spirit, help you stay motivated if someone else was cheering you on in this and being like, yeah, good job, nailed it, yes, 1 inch, 1% better, good job. Tap the little finger. I give myself permission to be my own cheerleader. Tap the side of the hand. To stop and look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm proud of you for, and then read this list. I want you to look here into my eyes as if you were looking into your eyes and say what you're proud of yourself for. Tapping the top of the head. What else? If you forgot, look at your list. What else are you proud of yourself for? Tap the eyebrows. I'm letting every cell in my body hear, good work. I love you. I'm proud of you for getting yourself to this point. Relax and enjoy these things that are working, these places that are moving in a good way. Tapping under the lips. I'm giving myself permission to cause and create, tap the chest, even more joy and satisfaction in my life. By sensing all of the areas that are getting smoother, flowing better, opening up, maybe doing fabulously well. Tap the front of the ribs, including, and then say what's on your list again. Feeling healthier and stronger in your body, feeling safer and more grounded, having enough food to eat and a safe place to rest, having people in your life that care about you, taking better care of your mental health, learning how to process feelings, tap the middle finger and breathe. I allow myself to celebrate and acknowledge what it's taken to come to this moment. What are 3 or 4 or 10 things that were really hard that helped you get here? Maybe you put a ton of hours into tapping. Maybe you had some tricky conversations. Maybe you had to exercise some willpower, correct some behavior, let go of some habits. Tapping the little finger. It's okay for me to be impressed. Tap the side of the hand. To feel good about myself. This allows me to normalize and naturalize this feeling of abundance. Tapping the top of the head. I'm allowing myself to expand in pleasure and joy. Tapping the eyebrows. To soak in the win, the success, the prosperity, the peace, and the love that's already showing up in my life in these areas. Tapping under the lips, I give myself permission, tapping the chest, to feel gratitude, accomplishment. Tap the front of the ribs. To feel my self-esteem grow, right? Self-esteem is how we esteem ourselves. How do I reflect myself to myself? When I see myself doing well, I feel better about myself, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but can I see where I am making it? Tap the inside of the wrist. I have succeeded in keeping myself alive. Tap the side of the thumb. I have succeeded in connecting to this circle. Tap the index finger. I have succeeded in learning how to process really big, hard, scary things. Tap the middle finger. I have succeeded in opening myself to more peace, love, honor, connection. Tap the bottom of the 4th finger. I'm noticing, and then say what's on your list. Tap the little finger. I'm accepting this as it is. Releasing the need to judge or change or push or pull. This is where I'm at, and this is good. This is where I'm at, and this is good. This is where I'm at, and this is good. Tap the top of the head. I'm allowing myself to accept all this abundance in my life in all these areas. Tap the eyebrows. Getting used to feeling good. Tapping the temples. Getting used to feeling worthy. Tap the cheeks. Getting used to having things work out. This is the area of my life that things are most in flow. What is the area that's working the best for you? Maybe you've achieved some health goal, or maybe you've achieved a more stable, loving relationship, or maybe you've achieved landing a career shift. Maybe you've just achieved staying on the planet. Tapping the side of the ribs. I give myself permission to feel really good about this. I came back for myself. Tap the inside of the wrist. I give myself permission to feel good. Tap the index finger. Now tune in to your body, and I want you to let your body know what feeling good about all of this feels like. Not thinking about feeling good, but if you are able to just take some deep breaths, let's do it together. Just tapping your middle finger, breathing, letting your body relax for a minute and be like, yeah, it's my birthday. I get to really feel good right now. Tapping all over the body. Let's just finish with that yummy physical sensation. Accepting all of that yummy goodness. Beautiful work, everybody. Woo-wee! How good can you stand it? I would love to know how you are feeling, what you learned during this session. Pop it in the chat. And while you're doing that, I'll tell you, this tap is for me as much as it is for you. I'm growing and creating an even bigger ability to serve and support the healing of humanity, which grows me, right? And so along that journey, releasing any shame for not being able to do it before now, releasing any judgment that, it's only at this level. I'm like, actually, things are flowing. It's working. As I open to allow, I can anchor huge blessings. So I'm looking here in the chat. Patricia says, I feel more alive. Yay! I feel more alive too, right? Remember that when we compliment ourselves, we are doing the opposite of what critical, negative self-talk is, right? We're learning to speak to ourselves with love. So we want to say, hey, good job, self. Hey, I'm proud of you for this. The little wins and the big wins. Christina says, there's still some triggers there. I think it's kind of new for you, Christina, to really speak with love and kindness to yourself. This would be a good one for you to practice. Utah says, that was great. You said it's my birthday because birthdays are triggering for me, right? I know, sometimes they can be. Ryan says, definitely grateful for surviving on this planet through everything. I am growing, right? That's a huge thing. Martha said, this is perfect as I typically focus on improvements, LOL. I felt extremely sleepy though, like a part of me didn't want to hear it. I know, right? I felt that in the middle of the tap. I felt some people like, ugh, checking out. I get it. Claudia says, this was beautiful. I'm feeling amazing, so full of gratitude. Thank you. Joyce says, thank you for being here, Sonya. I so need this weekly grounding and opening to growth. Oh, you're welcome. Lauren says, thank you so much. I came in late and I didn't give myself a hard time. Good. Glad you made it. Amity says, grateful that I'm sticking with EFT and appreciating the changes. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Dinah says, I feel woozy. Need to do it again, right? So Diana, for all those years of self-criticism and looking for what's wrong, this is going to be something that, like, I would love for you to do this, like, every day for a month. Just bring this part of you forward so you can begin to have more balance in your self-talk. Mark says, grateful for more self-awareness in many aspects of my life. Linda said, lots of light bulbs going off. Thank you. Wonderful. Let's see if anything else has come in that I missed. Utah says, an 8 to a 3, it's so easy to pay attention to the problems of disturbing me rather than all that's going well. I see problems now as opportunities of growth and improvement. Good. So yeah, let's balance ourselves. Not always just trying to fix, right? When we are coming out of trauma, that's a lot of just like fix it. I just want to feel better. But when we get to the feeling better part, like let's expand it. Let's live in the feeling better part. So mark this one as something to come back to. The title of it is Acceptance of Abundance. You'll find it in the video library as you find all of these each week uploaded at worldtappingcircle.com/members area. There's a little orange button in the upper right hand corner, and that will be there tomorrow. So I love you all. Oh, before I forget, thank you for the donations that are coming in to help us build this healing center. I'm very grateful. I'm seeing those donations coming in steadily every week. It is helping, and that money is growing in our account to be able to put our down payment. We are still in the conversation of closing on this land. It's super exciting, but we are going to build this retreat center. It feels very good to me. It feels very calm and stable. So hold us in that vision that we will have our own healing center where we can do even more of this work and expand this dream so that we can keep it affordable for you to come and do all kinds of new in-person live experiences with us. And I'm going to leave you with that link to donate, as well as a beautiful song by Maria, I'm not sure I'm getting her name right, Stark. It's called the Prosperity Codex. It's a beautiful song. So as you are bringing things into creation and appreciating this, it's kind of a chakra song. I think you're going to really love it. Enjoy. I can't wait to see you again in the circle.
Be light at the root of my tongue, opening song line sung from the mother of the sapphire light at the seat of my heart. Timelines, healing codes, revealing in amethyst light in the crest of my eye. Violet flame burns bright with the wise and emerald light in the palm of my hands, flowing forth to restore these lands in the citrine light and the sun of my hearth. Amber warming, star seeds forming in diamond light in the bones of my spine. Rivers rising, bliss igniting, ruby light at the root of my tongue. Opening song line sung from the mother of the sapphire light in the seat of my heart. Timelines, healing codes, revealing in amethyst light in the crest of my eye. Violet flame burns bright with the wise and emerald light in the palm of my hands, flowing forth to restore these lands in the citrine light in the sun of my hearth. Amber warming, star seeds forming in time and night in the bones of my spine. Rivers rising, bliss igniting, ruby light at the root of my tongue. Opening song line sung from the mother of the sapphire light and the seed of my heart. Timelines healing, codes revealing in amethyst light in the crest of my eye. Violet flame burns bright with those wise and emerald light in the palm of my hands, flowing forth to restore these lands in the citrine light in the sun of my hearth. Amber warming, star seeds forming in diamond light in the bones of my spine. Rivers rising, bliss igniting, ruby light at the root of my tongue. Opening song line sung from the mother of the world.